Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Audrey Denney, who's running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District in California. How are you doing, Audrey?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here with you today and to chat.
Yeah. How have you been hanging in there with this whole stay-at-home order, trying to keep on going under these conditions?
Yeah, it's definitely been different for learning how to campaign in this environment, and it's really shifted the focus of our campaign a lot. We've been talking and working a lot more on community outreach and how we can use our platform to really make sure we're reaching the most vulnerable right now. As far as personally, I am still working full time, and I am lucky enough to have had a job before this where I was already working remotely. I did travel a lot for work that I was always here in my home office, which you find myself in now. So my day-to-day work life hasn't changed a bunch, but campaigning definitely does look different. And if you do hear some noises, I did adopt a couple kittens during this, so that's who that is. But yeah, other than that, life is in this little studio apartment.
Got to keep our furry companions close. Yeah. Great. Well, maybe we just dive right into it. So, you know, the Congress has passed three or four stimulus bills at this point?
The House has passed the fourth one on Friday.
Yeah, the HEROES Act was passed just on the 15th, without our current congressman's vote. I'm wondering what you're feeling about these stimulus bills. If there's like what parts of them do you agree with? What parts of them do you disagree with?
Absolutely. Well, first, I haven't been calling them stimulus bills because right now they're relief bills. Like we are in a crisis, and so these are immediately necessary relief bills. And later on this fall and early next year, we're definitely going to need some stimulus bills to stimulate the economy. But these relief bills, I think we've done a pretty good job so far with the three that were passed. The first bill was mostly medical focused. It funded vaccines and treatments and testing. The second bill was mostly about individual workers. It was paid sick leave and funding for free testing. And then the third bill was mostly the Paycheck Protection Program and the SBA loans, which was really kind of more focused on small businesses and then being able to keep taking care of their employees. In terms of the fourth bill that just went through the House on Friday, get passed, the HEROES Act, it was going to offer another round of $1,200 stimulus checks to folks. There was $1 trillion for state, local, and territory governments to help them deal with the economic fallout from COVID. It was $10 billion to shore up the SNAP program, of course, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It was another $10 billion for small business grants and full health coverage for all COVID-19 care patients and frontline workers. And all of those things are obviously really, really, really good. And I am, with all of those good, important things in the bill, I am shocked that our congressman did not vote for it, because we need action, and we need action right now because the people in his district are suffering. That said, I wish that House Democrats hadn't included the non-pandemic items that they included, the cannabis banking, election security. They threw other stuff in there, and I would have rather seen the House pass a clean relief bill that could then be worked on with the Senate. As is, the Senate will pass their own version and they'll work out the differences in committee. But I would have really liked this to be just a relief bill. Had I been in Congress on Friday, I absolutely would have voted for it to make sure that we are putting the needs of the real people of the district first.
Great. Yeah, you mentioned the voting. What are your thoughts about moving forward with voter protection given the current circumstances that we're facing? I mean, we are in, I'm not sure if the entire district is vote by mail, but I know Nevada County specifically is, and the state is moving in that direction. So, I mean, what do you think California can teach the rest of the country about voting by mail?
Yeah, so Nevada County and Butte County this year was a completely vote by mail county. obviously, I mean, our vote, that's our voice, right? And we need to make it as easy for every single person to vote as it possibly can be. And when we mail ballots to their house, the research shows that indeed we will get a higher response rate. And so I'm thrilled that California is an entirely vote by mail state, especially in our big rural districts where it may be harder to get, physically harder to get to a polling place. I think it's a very, very good step in the right direction. But I think as we continue to move forward, we need to keep up with the times, and we need to keep up with technology and continue to find innovative ways that are safe, that cannot be hacked, for people to be able to vote electronically. I'm 36 and I'm the upper edge of the millennials, but I can't imagine the young people that are in college right now. They see a ballot, and you give them a pen, and they're like, wait, I haven't used pen and paper in forever, right? Everything that they do from the time that they're in elementary school is on their Chromebooks and their phones. And we need to make sure that the systems that we're using are accessible to everyone. I think we definitely need to be going in a direction of more flexibility with voting as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I completely agree. So maybe just talk about our district. So the county and the entire district has been really lucky lately. We have not seen a spike in cases. And as we prepare to start reopening regionally, do you have any concerns about what that looks like and potential for future spikes, given that the second wave is expected to hit rural communities harder?
Yeah, so far, I mean, Joe, I completely agree with you. We have been very, very blessed in the limited number of cases that we've seen in our rural counties and the very limited number of deaths we've seen across the district as well. Very, very lucky. And I think that goes to both, speaks to both obviously our lower population density, but also the fact that folks took it real seriously. And I'm really proud of us up here for wearing our masks, for making sure that we were staying at home, especially in those really early days. And now as we're starting to move into phase 2 of the governor's plan, making sure that we are really strictly adhering to those guidelines. We're starting to open up businesses, right? And it's amazing. It's great to see businesses opening up back downtown, where I live in downtown Chico and all over the district. And it has been amazing to watch small business owners really put into place the safety precautions that have been outlined by the governor's team. And as we move forward, I think it is so important for us collectively as a region to say, hey, no, we are going to put the needs of our neighbors above ourselves, right? We're going to act for the common good and to protect the people around us. And that looks like not having large gatherings. That looks like wearing your masks in public, limiting contact with other people, strictly following the governor's guidelines. And that is right now, that is how we show that we believe in helping people and we believe in the greater good and working towards that. And that is my experience of the people who live all across this district, and I'm hoping that their actions will continue to show that.
Great. Yeah, I heard about a rodeo that took place in Shasta County that wasn't supposed to happen, and that was has set them back into their reopening progress.
Yeah, absolutely. The more closely we follow the governor's guidelines, the sooner all of our rural counties will be able to reopen to phase 2 and phase 3 and forward.
Definitely. So we talked a little bit about how your ability to campaign has been affected by this. What can we do as your supporters to help you campaign right now and to spread the word of the Audrey Denney campaign?
Awesome. This is my favorite question. So right in mid-March, when this was getting really serious, we switched our campaign volunteer infrastructure to a community wellness check-in program. So all of our phone banking software switched over for volunteers to be able to just call people who lived in their county and check in on them. We're calling everybody. It's not a partisan thing. And we're not even saying that they're part of my campaign. They just say, hey, this is so-and-so from your county, checking, here's some resources, what do you need? And that's been really effective at connecting folks with resources and reaching out to the most vulnerable. That's been really really good for our volunteers. So if you have some time right now, I would hop on. You can find all that information on our website. I'd hop on and check that out. And then looking forward towards how we're going to win this election, because that is on everyone's hearts and minds, right? I started running in 2018 because I knew that I could win this race in 2020. And we are 168 days away from the general, as you and I are filming this today. And there's a lot that needs to be done. The most important thing is that in September and October, our campaign has the resources, both people resources and financial resources, to reach every single persuadable voter in the district, right? Every single persuadable voter needs to hear messages about me over and over and over again, so they vote, right? So that looks like mail pieces, targeted mail pieces going to their house. That looks like TV ads. That looks like targeted digital calls, or excuse me, digital ads. That looks like volunteer phone calls, volunteer texts, and God willing, we can knock on doors again later this fall, and that looks like door knocking. But to do all of those things, we need money, right? All of those things cost money. And since I have refused to take any money from corporate PACs, like my incumbent, Congressman LaMalfa, who is bought and paid for by several industries, I rely on people, right? I rely on folks. And so as hard as it is in these challenging economic conditions to think about donating, I need folks to really dig deep and to keep donating. And so if folks are in an economic position where they can continue to contribute to the campaign, whether monthly or in a lump sum, that's what we need right now, because come September, we need to make sure we have a war chest to get the message out that shows that we can and will represent the people here better than the incumbent.
Great. Well, we'll definitely post a link to where people can donate to your campaign along with this video. And then,
great.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share with your future constituents while we've got you on the line?
Just that I miss you guys. I mean, I miss leaving my house, obviously, but for the past 31 months, I've spent most of my life traveling around the district and getting to see the different communities and the different people. And I've built a lot of wonderful relationships with folks in Nevada County. And I just miss you. And I hope you're staying safe. And I can't wait until we can gather again and I'm allowed to get back on the road and be with the people that I care about so much. I want to represent them. So.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And we are all rooting for you and hoping you stay safe during this time. And we'll try to get you as many resources as we can.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. Great to see you.
Thank you.